Close to the town of Bungay in Suffolk is the independently run museum known as the Norfolk and Suffolk Aviation Museum. This museum has a considerable collection of aircraft both inside and out, and features thousands of artifacts, display models, and wreckage relics from all areas of aviation history. Today I am at the Norfolk and Suffolk Aviation Museum, located in the small village of Flixton. A large number of the airframes at the museum are stored outside, within a long, thin plot of land leading towards the hangar. These are mostly a collection of British aircraft of the 1950s and 1960s. However, you will also find a few foreign aircraft in amongst them. The outside displays are divided into two sections, so we'll take a look at the outer display first. Painted in a USAF display team's markings, the museum's North American F-100 Super Sabre has links to the region as they used to fly from nearby RAF Lakenheath. Among the rarities held at the museum here is an example of the Mikoyan MiG-15 and an Argentine IA-58 Pucara. This example here was captured by British forces during the Falklands War. This is one of 6 Pucaras that were captured and taken to Britain after the war, with others on display at Duxford, Cosford and Sunderland. The Mikoyan MiG-15 is not a common sight here in the United Kingdom, and the museum has stretched the display options of this aircraft by sporting Czech markings on one side and Polish on the other. Other foreign aircraft on display here are a French Dassault Mystère 4 and a Lockheed T-33, and unlike our example at my local Norwich Aviation Museum, they've actually painted their Mystère here. One final example to add to this list is a battered fuselage section of a T-28 Trojan in Congolese markings. Royal Air Force fighters on show include a pair of aircraft from the Gloucester Company, being an immaculately painted Meteor F-8 and a Javelin FAW-9. A further large British aircraft from this period is the de Havilland Vixen. Moving on to the remaining Royal Air Force aircraft displayed outside, we find a newcomer that was brought to the museum in 2020. Painted in 23 squadron markings, the Phantom served the RAF from the 1960s through to the early 1990s. A Vickers Valletta is the museum's largest aircraft, and this is open for visitors to take a look inside for a fee. There are a total of 3 English electric Canberras held at the museum, though only the T4 variant is a whole airframe, the other examples of a B2 and a B8 being nose sections only. At pride of place in front of the main hangar is the museum's Hawker Hunter. You can tell from this video that I've visited this museum on more than one occasion for filming, as in this the Hunter is fully painted in 54 squadron markings, and here it is again undergoing a full repaint. The large hangar is packed full of exhibits, so much so that it is easy to completely miss and walk past entire aircraft here. These start off with 2 RAF trainers, being the de Havilland Vampire and Percival Provost. An early Mark English Electric Lightning takes up much of the space within this hangar, though this is partly obscured from the collection of engines from various aircraft types. Besides the Lightning is another iconic British aircraft design, the British Aerospace Harrier, this museum's example being the FA-2 Sea Harrier. Aside from the fuselage section of a Spitfire Mark 16, there are no other aircraft of direct World War II vintage at the museum. However, one side of the hangar contains a large collection of relics and wrecks from German aircraft and weapons downed over England. Ranging from small finds of mangled wreckage to complete engines and undercarriage components, the most poignant piece here for me was a relic from a Dornier 217 that crashed just outside my home village. The museum then snakes its way through a couple more interconnected hangar buildings, all of them still crammed with exhibits. Complete airframes here include an Avro Anson, a large number of obscure light aircraft, and several helicopters including the Bristol Sycamore and Westland Whirlwind. The Whirlwind is one of two the museum holds, this one being painted in a Royal Navy scheme, and the one outside newly painted in a bright Royal Air Force scheme. Don't forget to look up too, as you'll find a number of impressive large-scale models flying overhead. Finding themselves a little more spaced out is a separate room with a few biplanes on show, these being a Bolton Pool P6 and a Boeing PT-27 Stearman. A separate corrugated metal hangar outside is dedicated to the 446th Bomb Group of the US Army Air Force, and this contains all kinds of relics from crashed aircraft parts, pieces of aviation equipment, and scale model examples of aircraft flown. The complete and well-preserved airframes contrast starkly with the wreckage that is also on display here, with parts from aircraft lost during the course of World War II being a particular reminder of the fierce air campaigns that took place around the area over 80 years ago. Particular attention is paid to honouring and preserving the local history of aviation in the county, as during World War II, Suffolk hosted many US Army Air Force fighter and bomber units that were instrumental in winning the war in Europe. If you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like and follow my channel for more, and I'll bring you many more aviation museums from the rest of the world. However, until next time, see you around.